first time I stepped on the campus at Fresno State, I was completely lost. I had been by the place a few hundred times. Me and my dad had snuck into the stadium to throw the ball around, probably even more than that.
Nervous, anxious. We didn't have iPhones then, so navigating campus, was always challenging. But I think once I got here, it really was like home.
I was overwhelmed and awed all at the same time. First of all, I couldn't believe that I got in, and then I was wondering whether I could stay.
In all honesty, my first impression here was absolute terror. I had to learn to be a little bit more serious of a student and not quite goof around as much.
I mean, I went to Bullard High and we had 175 kids in our class. I come out here and we had a freshman orientation in what is now the North Gym. And there's like 3,000 students, and it's like, holy mackerel.
I loved the buildings and the trees and the whole environment. It just really touched my heart to be here. And then when I got into the classes, what I found is all of my teachers were all in. They were all in with helping us students reach our educational dreams and our career hopes.
I come back here and there's this huge football stadium and huge baseball field those things weren't there when I came to school here. And the Smith Camp Alumni House and the Save Mart Center, all these things that are amazing.
I remember driving onto campus on a Saturday morning to get to the Craig School of Business and just overwhelmed at, gosh, what was I, 40 years old, right? It was, I'm not gonna lie, it was a little bit daunting.
I remember calling my dad when I was a junior, and I had taken a class from Dr. Doug Cords, loved him, and I called my dad and I said, Dad, I want to change my major. I want to be a marketing major. And my father, in this really quiet Navy captain voice, said, no, you don't.
Professors were phenomenal. The quality of the teachers here were, even compared to a UC, it was equal or better.
My mother came back to Fresno State after my brother and I were in school. She stayed home with us when we were little and came back to school later. And so there were many times that I actually came to class with my mother at Fresno State and sat in the back of the room, and I was able to color in the back and listen to her learn how to be a teacher.
I was an English major and I read all over the place, mostly relatively contemporary stuff. I'm really not proud to say that I managed to graduate as an English major without taking a Shakespeare class, but I've been working, for many, many years subsequently to make up for that.
You can have every degree behind your name, but if you never put it into practice, then you never will achieve your goals and your dreams. You have to work hard at it, and you have to keep going. Fresno is so fortunate to have this university here.